I'm John Ratzenberger. On this Made in America, we travel to Melrose Park, Illinois, and go full tilt boogie on a Stern pinball machine. Okay, here we go. From Soho down to Brighton, or even from Kalamazoo to Cucamonga, we've played them all and still ain't seen anything like it. That's right. The wizard of arcade games is the one with the silver ball. It takes both skill and luck, and requires both mental agility and physical dexterity. Pinball isn't some virtual game. It's the real thing. But of course, there isn't as much of a call for the real thing as there used to be, which explains why Stern Pinball considers itself the last company in the world making pinball machines full-time. Fittingly, Stern is located in Melrose Park, Illinois, outside Chicago, where the Midway itself was born. Company founder Gary Stern's toughest job is keeping pinball from looking archaic alongside video games capable of taking the imagining out of imagination.
Pinball machines have changed a lot over the years, as you can see. Starting out originally as pinball machines with pins that the ball hit, no electricity. These come probably from the 20s and 30s.
We evolved then to this?
Yep, this would be another mechanical game. This would be from the 40s, what we call a wood leg because it has wood legs. We're very original, you know.
Is this one of those things that was like invented by the Egyptians? They came to some tomb and some pharaoh had a pinball machine?
It goes back to a French bagatelle, which is sort of a one-sided pool table. It was played with a pool cue and a pool-type ball.
The game caught on big with late 19th century Americans after pool cues were replaced by spring-loaded plungers called ball shooters. And speaking of ball shooters, Sam Stern, Gary's father, became a living legend in the world of gaming amusements when he and another future Hall of Famer, Harry Williams, began making pinball machines in 1947.
This game was a special game made for the Lake Placid Olympics. There were 8 of these out on the ice, and the originals had Mylar on the metal parts because if you took your gloves off and played it without the Mylar, you were taking the game home with you because you were frozen to it, yeah.
Gary struck out on his own in 1987. That was a time when traditional arcade games were already being eclipsed by second and third generation video games. Now we're into 10th and 15th generation machines that don't look much like their forebears. But pinball is still pinball, even if it is more complex and expensive.
To design a pinball machine, it costs about $1 million. To just change the artwork and the sounds and this and that is hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Developing a pinball game can take a year. First, Stern brainstorms and creates a proposal that has everything a licensor needs to know about the new baby's look and feel. Once the licensor approves, the theoretical becomes real in the hands of designers like Dennis Nordman. It's his job to decide how many angels should dance on the head of the pinball, so to speak.
This drawing on the right side has everything that's on the game, including the top of the playfield and the bottom of the playfield. So if I put something on the top, all the mechanism that's underneath, you have to know how everything fits together. There's a spot that's called a sweet spot on the flipper that makes a real easy forceful shot.
I actually know where that is. You leave the flipper up, catch the ball, and then let it roll down the flipper. Boom.
So we try to design our coolest shots right in the area where this sweet spot is. Believe it or not, we really try to keep the ball from rolling down the middle.
So a lot of billiards physics involved in this.
Yeah, angle of incidence and reflection.
When we come back to Made in America, we'll put the ball in play at Stern Pinball. Welcome back to Stern Pinball, where the work is about having fun. The average pinball machine is composed of 3,500 parts, nearly all of which will be assembled by hand.
Also, you got the whole diagram on a board.
These boards have to be made different for each model. This is one of about 24 cables that go in a pinball machine. There's over half a mile of wire in a pinball machine.
Meanwhile, another group of workers puts together the playing surfaces, which have already been silkscreened at another facility.
This is the Elvis playfield.
Holes are drilled with the aid of a metal template that's unique to each game.
Different templates for different games.
The parts are going in different places.
Sure.
After the cables are put on, we're going to mount all the various things on the top.
Other factories in the area make the rails, ramps, and decorative pieces according to the designer's specs.
Now it's getting to look like a pinball machine. It's got the little rails. And Hey, Gary, I see this one here that's got a sign that's going to Canada. So
yes.
Instead of if they're going ding, does it go ding-y? Ding-y.
No, they all make the same sound.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Now comes testing, which isn't so easy when there are 115 lights, 70 switches, 30 moving parts, and upwards of 100 electrical connections.
Every game we finish, we got to put that number down.
So you get to autograph every machine?
Oh, yeah, we got to.
Can we flip it over? There it is. Look at that. Is there a pinball machine that's like the Babe Ruth rookie card? Is there the holy grail of pinball machines?
If you ask me which is my favorite, I could tell you that.
Go ahead.
We're making Elvis right now. That's my favorite.
Oh, because you're making it now.
Yeah.
Now the playing fields are joined with their cabinets, which were made at another factory. They're then fitted with speakers and those diabolical flipper buttons. All that's left are the back boxes.
They're all assembled. They're all ready to rip, huh?
This is where we'll do the final test before we pack them. Sure. And here you can see all the complexity of the pinball machine.
A lot of gizmos in there, Gary.
Yeah.
You call them gizmos, do you? Thingamajigs?
Sometimes I call them gizmos. Yeah, that's good.
Being a pinball wizard is easy. You just slam the machine whichever way you want the ball to go. Except for that one small problem.
This is the tilt right here that they put in.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask.
You know, the wire attached to the rod, or wire attached to the loop.
Sure.
And see, the weight is adjusted up and down, and that's how you adjust the sensitivity.
Oh, so if you could make it very sensitive or...
Or if you have it in my home, you don't have it on at all.
Right, just take it all off.
Americans can take pride in the fact that pinball is yet another American innovation, as is, by the way, coin slot. But when that coin drops, those bells and whistles click on, there is no country, no family, no past or future. It's just you and that little steel ball battling each other.
All righty, this looks like a good one. Come on. Yeah. Good old Elvis. Recently, a lot of people have told me that I remind them of Elvis. Go figure.